Blog Talk Radio.
My name is Gwen. Oh, no. I'm playing Teresa now. I'm sorry. I'm Teresa. Hello. I'm Teresa.
Welcome to T2R Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check Take2Radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take2 Radio, and thanks for listening.
Welcome to Take2 Radio Soaps. I am acting as your host this evening, Anthony Corona. With me this evening is the ever fabulous Candace.
Hello, darlings. Hello.
And with us is Vinny. Hey, Vinny, how you been, man?
I've been doing all right.
All right. David will be joining us in a little while, and we may or may not have some Carolyn. I thought that we could go a little off the usual topic this evening at the top of the show. Candace, Vinny, I'm going to ask you guys, what is up with these recycled storylines being released as soap spoilers all over social media? And they tweak the titles to get you to click in such a way that it sounds like it's a current storyline, and then suddenly you're about into the, 5th or 6th sentence, and you're like, wait a minute, Lulu's in a coma. What's going on here? What is this? Dante rushes to Lulu's rescue. Wait a minute. This is like 5 years old. Candace?
Because there's nothing else really exciting happening on the current stories. I mean, okay, because before I get myself in trouble, it's because so I had a friend just message me and ask me something about The Young and the Restless, and they showed me the link and everything, and I was like, baby, that's from like 2018. And it was like, but no, they said it was Adam and Sharon. I said, yeah, those characters are still in the show, but this storyline particularly happened then. She was like, I don't understand. And I said, because it's a couple of things. It is 2023, and on all the soaps, they're doing certain storylines that, again, 5 years ago they were doing. And it's sort of confusing because it's just like because you're going to hear me say this a lot tonight. Did we do this already? Did we do this already?
Yeah.
And the sad reality is we did do this before. It's just, I don't know. I just feel as though, everybody wants to click a wink, a link, So, Minnie, what do you got?
You know what? I haven't seen them. Although, I mean, it's paramount to a lot of different things that are going on with all forms of entertainment, wrestling included. There's this one Instagram account that I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but they are tweeting out or posting stories that happened back in like January and February as if they're current. So I just make the joke that they're on AOL dial-up internet and they're not getting their news timely. But outside of that, I don't know why people would be doing it other than, just their slow news cycles. Although, in my opinion, General Hospital and Days have both been quite entertaining over the past couple of weeks, to the point where I don't know why anybody would be talking about anything else.
I'm going to give you a yes and a no on that comment. I agree and I disagree for 2 very different reasons. We'll get to it when we get to each show. But you made some pretty good points there. And unfortunately, I had a conversation this afternoon with a friend in the business, it's sort of touching on this subject, and the video game writers and producers are about to go on strike as well. I was saying something on this show 2 weeks ago when we were all together that has turned out not to have come to pass. There is no deal. There is no deal. There is no deal.
Nope.
We're going into fight mode now. There is not an end to this anytime soon, and it's only going to get worse. And so there's been an absolute mark on 3 out of the 4 shows as far as the storylines are concerned. And things are going to get interesting in the next couple of months, folks. Candace, I can't really say any more without getting myself into trouble.
I can do it. I can say something that won't get me in. Because here's the thing. So many of you guys may or may not know I do an audio drama series, Forever and a Day. Shout out to my crew and cast over there. And we have not, all the episodes that came out we did last year, and we can't do anything right now. None of our SAG actors can promote it, which sucks because there was some really good storylines this year. But, we're now going into about the 4th, 5th month here. Yeah. Kind of roughly around that. And like Anthony said, it's going to get worse because, now you have the SAG, voiceovers, for video games, because at first the first round, so for y'all, I'm going to break this down. It went in rounds. So the first round, obviously, was the WGA. And we all know how that works, right? Okay. And then it was the DGA, which was the Directors Guild Association. They, within 24 hours, was like, give them what they want. And was like, wait, what? Like, okay.
Because all of these other contracts are dependent on whatever's going to happen with the writers is going to dictate certain things for all of these other contracts. That's the way this circuit system works. Go ahead, Candace. Right.
And so then it was Broadway. Broadway, same thing as the DGA, within a day. Then it was the SAG, and we all know there's no end in sight for that. And I'm just going to say, because a lot of people was confused about, because recently just some news just came out about this. So everybody was wondering, why doesn't daytime, what's the situation with daytime? Why aren't they a part of this? And here's the thing. Okay. Under a new media agreement, okay, daytime soaps was excluded from, the actors to participate in the strike. Even though they are SAG actors, do the payouts and all that stuff, they've been protected by that agreement, which expires next summer. Actually, it could be sooner than June 1st. Keep that in mind, okay? Okay, I know this says, I'm just going to say this. There are certain people who went on social media and lied about what was going on, as far as behind the scenes, of discussions and meetings and, the revenues and all that stuff. I'm not going to say nobody's names. I'm not doing that, but I'm going to say this. Pay the people what they want. 1. 2, if you feel as though you are above all of this, hey, bless you, okay? But there's people who have to now reevaluate their life and for the next couple of months. And we're getting ready to go into the holiday season. I want you to think about that. People can't pay their health insurance. People have to quit their jobs. When I say jobs, I mean some of the writing jobs, acting jobs, to take care and get another job. And not for nothing, all those who had said something about the Drew Barrymore show and it just was announced the talk is coming back, again, they're protected by this agreement for daytime. They do not have any writers or whatnot.
More importantly, Candace, they don't have a choice.
Right.
They are under contract. If their show is being produced, they have to work unless they're a day player or I come in for a couple of weeks here, a couple of weeks there, and they can turn around and say, no, I don't want to work. But all of the actors, Maurice Bernard to Deidre Hall, they're all they're on contract. They cannot turn around and say, I want to stand with my brothers and sisters. I'm sorry, I'm not coming to work. It doesn't work that way.
There is now. Here's the thing. Yes, we've seen Scott Clifton and on the field, on the battlefield. They're supporting. That doesn't mean they're turning their backs because, like you said, they're protected up until. I'm just going to say, don't be surprised by May, y'all. If when things kind of settle and everything, like I said, their contracts expire next year. So. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, it's already interesting right now because we're in September. By the way, real quick, hold on. It's been 22 years since a tragedy happened to this country. Mm-hmm. And this shaped a lot of people's views about a lot of things. So, Anthony, Vinny, you guys, if we can we please have a moment of silence for those who lost their lives for 9/11, who was affected by 9/11? If we can do that real quick.
Of course.
Okay,
I just wanted to do that.
I'm gonna contribute for a moment on that front. I lived on Staten Island. I worked in Lower Manhattan. I took the ferry to Manhattan every morning. I was just out of college, young, fresh, innocent, and I used to listen to music back when they didn't even have wireless earbuds and kids. I had wired headset that went around the back of my head and came around up the ears. It was kind of cool for that time, but it had wires. Anyway, I was on the ferry that morning, and I was lost in my own zone, and all of a sudden people just start running. And for the first time in 100 years, the ferries stopped dead in the harbor and just sat there for 20 minutes because nobody knew what to do when that first plane hit. And so absolutely all the love to everyone who has been affected in whatever way they've been affected. There were babies that were born that never knew their dads or, granddads.
It's been 22 years. Like, that's the crazy part. It's been, because I realized that there's been two.
It's some people's lifetime.
Yeah, there's 2 lifetimes that they weren't included in it. Actually, it might be more, but it's just crazy because, like you said, it's a lot like with soaps. Okay, everybody can tell you where they were at for Luke and Laura's wedding. Everybody can tell you where when Marlena was possessed by the devil. There's been 4 times. Okay, so you had to be there for one of them. Okay, everybody can tell you about Victor and Nikki's wedding or when Brooke was called the slut from the valley. I can tell you this right now.
I know where
everybody can tell you where they were at on September 11th, 2001. For me, I will never forget. I was running late for work. I was running late. I went to Dunkin' Donuts. I ain't gonna lie. I was working at a car insurance place, and I went in, made a pot of coffee for everybody. We looked up. It was the Today Show. They was like, on Today, this is a live view of New York City, right? Literally, right before everything. Mm-hmm. I looked down, and then I looked up, and I saw smoke. And I was like, oh, this is a movie trailer for Die Hard or something. Because it really, it's like, I was waiting for the voiceover. A couple of minutes later, we saw the second time, and that's when reality kicked in because we was like, okay, this trailer is not good. Turned on to CBS this morning. Panic. When it happened in Virginia and D.C., and remember there was a list, and on that list it did say Baltimore. I was where they allegedly was going to do the attack. I was literally 5 minutes away from it. It's just crazy. So I just wanted to, take a moment, because it also affected the soaps. You remember there were certain storylines that they had to drop because of it. But getting back into all of this, here's the thing. Everybody just, Netflix, Amazon, ABC, CBS, Fox, all of you guys, pay the writers, get the actors back, because right about now
pay everybody what they deserve.
Right.
It's sort of like you can relate this to Big Pharma, right? They come up with a drug. They've got about 10 years where they can charge anything they want for it because it's under patent. And then that patent expires and everybody can make, quote-unquote, generics. You've had your time to make the money, streaming services. You've had your time to reap. Everybody under you needs their piece of the pie. They need it to trickle down. It cannot be that there are 6 billionaires and 90,000 people that produce so that the 6 billionaires can make another $1 billion. It just doesn't. Life doesn't work that way. It's time to start giving the people that do the good work what they deserve. All right, we should.
Absolutely. Before you move on, just one thing looking from the outside in. I agree. Like I've been critical of the strikes because I'm not a fan of unions. I never have been, but that's because of my experience with unions in retail customer service, where I don't feel they belong. But when it comes to people who are independent contractors, like writers, directors, actors, etc., there is a spot for them in that position. With that said, I also value working for what you earn. That's why strikes just rub me the wrong way. Because it's like if I was ever part of a union that said, oh well, we're not getting paid enough, so we have to strike, I'd be like, okay, you could do that, but I'm going to work because I still need to pay my bills. But that's coming from a person who lives paycheck to paycheck. So not all actors are like that. But one thing I did learn about the actors just throughout this entire process is that for every actor that is earning millions of dollars per film, like The Rock or Vin Diesel or you name any of them, there are still a lot of actors, especially the extras and the ones with smaller roles and bit parts, that aren't making that kind of money, that are living paycheck to paycheck or have to carry a second job. You don't the general population don't realize that there are actors out there that need to have a second job. You don't think about it that way because everybody thinks that actors are paid tons and tons of money, and it's like not like that.
Absolutely.
They're not. That's
everybody should be earning what they're worth. So, yeah,
and that includes teachers too.
Oh,
roll
absolutely.
this back to the original purpose of me bringing this up. I feel what everybody is saying on social media out there, but folks have to understand something. The writers that are in there are doing a job that they're being paid to do. The actors that are acting because they're on contract. They can't just walk out. The shows are being produced. The people behind the cameras, the makeup, all of those people, none of them actually really want to be there right now. I can tell you that for sure. They don't really want to be there right now, but they can't just leave. So let's be kinder to the producers, I'm going to rephrase that, the workers of the industry. Let's be kinder to them on social media because they're doing what they have to do. And if someone does take the principles, let's say Nancy Legrand, decided I'm going on my principles, she'll never work again. Because once you take something like that, a stand like that, no one's ever going to hire you again. So they're between a rock and a hard place. They have to do their jobs, and some of them are being very vocal about caring for their brothers and sisters, and that are not able to work right now. All right. So, Vinny, you know what? You get to pick. Which show do you want to go to first today?
Oh wow, I feel special. Two episodes in a row.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Carolyn. I don't know what's keeping her.
Welcome, David.
Yeah, I was here. No one knew.
Creeper.
Well, I always got to go. I got to go with General Hospital first. I've been absolutely loving everything. I know there's a lot of hate going on the show, and by a lot of the fandom. Me personally, I don't hate anything going on right now. I am absolutely loving it. My favorite storyline right now is Cody and Sasha. I've been a huge advocate for that storyline. I know that there are a lot of people that, are waiting for it to end because of what's going on to Sasha, what's happening to Sasha, which I understand.
Spoiler alert.
And
we on to the next chapter.
I am absolutely loving that storyline. And I think it's something that's going to cement Cody and Sasha as a big time, couple. I don't want to say the next Luke and Laura, but I feel like this is something that's going to raise both of them. Sophia Matson's been killing it in terms of the entire storyline, and even Cody has been doing. Josh Kelly has been great.
They both have really stepped into their performing.
Yep.
They are, Sophia for the last 2 years has given us, performance after performance after performance that we really are there with her. It is not an actress playing a role in some of those scenes. We are there. We are crying with Sasha. And the horrific fear and what she gave us in these scenes, whether she wins an Emmy or not, girlfriend, you have hit the pinnacle of your craft. You have given us a believability factor, and that's why so many people were cringing. I am right on board with you on this storyline.
She's amazing.
I am so invested. Yeah.
I think she's amazing.
I do too. And that's one of the biggest reasons why, I for the wrestling fans out there, I've made this comparison a number of times. To me, she's the Ricky Morton right now of the Rock and Roll Express on General Hospital. She's able to gain that sympathy from the viewers because of her acting and able to just get everybody emotionally invested, whether you hate the storyline or not, because you're feeling it, because I hate the word triggered, but if you're feeling it, it's because of her acting.
I'm sorry, this is my beloved show. Vinny, you're only with us for a few weeks, so I've been watching General Hospital since I'm 3 years old. This is my, there's General Hospital and then there's the soap operas. But having said that, I am brutally, brutally honest. Her acting is so good because the storyline is so bad. I'm sorry. The storyline itself is bad. It's not. It's beyond suspension of disbelief. We're in creepy horror movie. This would actually never happen in real life. I mean, people popping in and out of a mental institution like they're getting the bus, like they're getting on the elevator. The fact that she pulls us into such a riveting performance is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now I'm going to flip the script. I know Candace probably has a lot to say and go in the exact opposite. General Hospital, we've been having lots of conversations the last couple of years. I'm going to put my New York on now. General Hospital, all right? Listen. There there is always the need for the witch on General Hospital. I don't understand it. So, Nina has run the course of her witchness. Y'all got that. Y'all saw that. I got you now. I see what you're doing with Nina. You have now replaced Nina, by the way, replaced Elizabeth, who has been on and off the witch status for years. When there's no other witch around, they start writing Elizabeth as the witch and the moral paramour, and she's got to tell everybody off, whatever. Okay. You've now replaced her with Portia. You have made Portia so disgustingly rich at this point. Nobody's invested in her. They want a Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz style house to come and drop on her right now. Drop the need for the witch. Drop the need for the witch. Vinny, I'm agreeing with you. Even the things that I'm hating, I'm loving the entertainment value. The Eddie Main storyline does nothing for me in anything that it's doing in storyline, but it's entertaining. It's historical, not the history I would have chosen to resurrect, but since it's being resurrected, I'm feeling it. The fact that it's giving Leo, who, oh my God, what an adorably, incredibly talented kid he is. Yeah. So I am loving almost everything that's happening right now, but I am absolutely hating that. And General Hospital, if you have given us, you got us. You let us know. When Nina is found out, we're all gonna think it's Ava for a while. We got your point. We got it. We don't need any more of those scenes. They are so redundant. I do never want to see another conversation between Nina and Ava. And I used to kind of like their friendship. But all they talk about now is, you're holding a secret. You can't handle this. Like, I hope you can handle this. Like, I'm here.
They have to move on.
Oh, please. I'm so done with those. All right, Kansas Girl, I know you're ready to go.
Okay. So I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be calm. How am I going to do this? I'm going to be calm.
Candace, answer me one question though. Friday, I don't know if you're at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, whatever. At 58 on Friday or whenever you watched it, girl, did you want to take off your earrings and slap someone?
There's a couple people I wanted to slap.
Remember Friday.
There was a couple people I wanted to slap.
There was a couple of people I wanted to slap, but at that very last moment, I wanted to slap. I wanted to put my rubber toe shoes on, take my earrings off, and make sure my wheat was tied up. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Candace.
Okay, so I want to touch on this Nina. I mean, not Nina, but the Sasha thing, because this has been my biggest pet peeve. Yeah, Sophia is putting in the work, but I'm going to be honest, this is Emmy bait for Frank. Okay? The story to me would have been more powerful if this was a real conservatorship storyline. We took a character that, and let's be honest for a second, okay? Sasha, quote unquote, wasn't supposed to be here this long. Because if you remember, you had Chase, her, Michael, Willow, the Quad, the foursome, and everything like that. Okay, she broke away from Michael.
She was the fake Nina daughter.
She was the fake Nina's daughter. We all thought that was the daughter of Nina. Okay, even though you changed it GH. I remember y'all saying it was a boy, but y'all said it was a girl. Okay, that's right. I pay attention. Okay. You had her deal with, the drugs and everything else like that. Okay, she finally got herself cleaned. Her and Brando. It was a couple that I didn't think anything of it, but I kind of was like, okay, they're the B couple of the show. You had a baby. Everything was coming up roses for Sasha, and then you pulled it away from her. Her baby died. Brando died. She goes backwards. I have no idea what the hell happened. Because once you had her, start to fall apart, and I get it, I understand, real life, especially if you overcame some things, you're trying to put yourself back on a pedestal. And again, Sophia, girl, you have done your job. However, GH, you did not. Because to me, I just feel as though this is the only thing you could do. Because you knew that this was going to, quote-unquote, cause shock from the fans. everybody can agree that storyline did nothing. It made us irritated because I get it in real life. I get it. Look, let's be honest. In real life, there is some crook doctors out there. There's some crook conservatorships. Hi, Brittany.
Yeah.
But you took it too far to the point where it was like offensive.
You made it farce.
Cartoon.
Candace, I'm going to tell you what you're trying to say in one very important line. You took what could have been an after-school special kind of storyline and turned it into the farcical soap dish,
cartoon.
farcical way you could tell it.
It was the fact that it didn't make sense after a while. Like, it fell apart as all storylines do. It falls apart because you're trying to drive it down our throats. Then you usher in Cody. Here's where I kept saying they had to find a place for Cody. I love Josh Kelly. Everybody knows this. But I'm still not connecting to the storyline. Yes, it's quote-unquote over right now. Spoiler alert, though. We're still not over the storyline. Because here's the thing.
No, we're not over the storyline by far. And honestly, where they made the mistake, Candace, was they should have went Cody, Maxie.
Well, they're related.
Exactly.
Sort of.
They should have gone that point
and
played it out in that direction.
What they should have did, I'm going to help General Hospital. I'm here to help you. My whole thing is that Sasha would have caught on to Gladys. And Gladys would be like, oh, wait a minute, Sasha might be catching on. I would have it where Sasha was her own hero. Because I get what General Hospital
and where everybody doubted Sasha because Gladys did something interesting, not drugging and torturing her like horror porn, but Gladys did something interesting to make everybody doubt, and they doubted Sasha for a hot minute, and then she found a way to vindicate herself. Yes, Candace. Yes.
Right.
That
so
was the story that should have been told.
Because I see what they're trying to do with Cody. I see what they're trying to do with the storyline. Again, it's not connecting. If you saw the promo, then we're really not to me, it's too many layers because now my question is, General Hospital, what are you doing with Sasha? Like, in all honesty, what is your outline for Sasha for the rest of this year? Because to me, it's tragedy, 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 tragedy. Is she going to really relapse to a point where nobody can touch her? Is she going to be far gone? You see what I'm saying? Like, we need to start thinking about that. Because if you're trying to create something, it's not working. Nina.
What they should do, real quick, what they should do is have something happen. I honestly actually don't want Gladys to get killed. But they should have something happen where Sasha is stuck and untangling all of this mess and actually lives a normal life for months and months and months, untangling this, getting back to work, starting to date Cody, et cetera, before they get, she has wrung there is no more room in the victim's sponge. Not another drop of water can go in the victim's sponge. She's got to have normalcy.
I want Sasha to have a moment where Gladys is, quote unquote, trying to gaslight her and saying, I was only doing it for you. I only did it because da-da-da-da. Mm-hmm. I don't know what anybody was talking about. And Sasha is like you have to see it from her point of view of, like, okay, is Gladys telling her the truth or, like, whatnot? And she keeps, like, Sasha is starting to remember certain things and she's putting two and two together. And she realizes Gladys was doing this. Like, she was the mastermind behind all of this and whatnot. And, I want her to harm her. Now, do I want her to be killed? Do I want Sasha to kill Gladys? Yes and no. Because, again, I don't trust GH writers to do what I want them to do. So that's why I'm saying yes or no, because, again, Sasha has to be her own hero in this. Yes, Cody, Sam, Dante. Shout out to Sam for getting the getaway call. Spoiler alert. But I like that she has that support. But my question is that, okay, she's out of that institution, but is she out of trouble? Is she out of danger? And the answer is no. And that's what's getting me. It's like, okay, like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And who knows? Maybe by the end of the year, I will change my mind about what they do. But for right now, I'm not satisfied. All right, Nina. I'll say it. I'll pull the Band-Aid off the wound. If it was a different actress playing Nina, you all wouldn't have done this. I feel as though.
Yeah. Thank you.
And let me preface this. I love both actresses who plays the role, but I'm noticing something. You have Nina, who was bad. She was a bad butt. I can't say badass, right? Well, I said badass. I'm sorry. Sorry, Pam. The writing for Nina has changed dramatically because I'm thinking to myself.
Yeah, ever since Cynthia Watros took over.
Well, no, I mean, I'm like with Cynthia Watros. Here's the thing: with Cynthia Watros, I think they were trying to like it's a two-way street. It's like when you have a recast, right? You first and foremost, the writers have to remember it's not the OG person playing this role anymore. It is now somebody else. So you have to work with their strengths and also their weakness. We all know Nina is a not watered down version, but she's like mediocre Annie Dutton.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you right there, though.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to stop you right there, Candace, because here's the thing. The Nina that was written under Michelle Stafford was not an OG Annie, and I agree with you.
No, I mean Cynthia Watros. No, I mean with Cynthia Watros taking over the character.
I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
They gave us a recreated version of Annie, except not as there's the Annie miss in the Annie missing. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's a mixture of when Cynthia's playing the role. Okay, when she first started, and I'll say it. It was a mix of a little bit of Annie Dutton, a little bit, I didn't say a lot, and Kelly from Young and the Rustlers when Cynthia Watros was playing it. I think the thing is that we forget Nina is that character. She may be a little bit loony and everything, but when it comes down to it, this girl is a threat. Hello? Look at the stuff she did.
Just go cut
right?
a baby out of a human body.
Right. Well, I'm even looking at like the Cynthia Watros version. Like her version, she has done stuff. I do not understand why. Last week we have Carly, aka the new Sharon of like seriously, y'all really swapped Carly to be the new Sharon, okay? Literally pouring coffee. Okay, she's pouring coffee, talking about Kelly's. You have Nina coming in there, and Carly is rolling her eyes like, oh Lord, what is this girl doing? What are we going to do?
Oh my God, yes.
Like when Nina says, I don't understand, I don't know what to do, I don't know how, and I'm thinking to myself, Nina, you know who Sonny Corinthos is. I don't understand why you don't know what you got yourself into. You know who Sonny Corinthos is. You know all about him. You have Ava
Candace,
Jerome.
I'm going to stop you right there because here's the conjunction problem with that. This is the same Nina who kicked Valentine to the curb for being Valentine for who Valentine is. Mm-hmm. Now, she doesn't understand. Now I've always been with complicated men, but I don't understand Sonny's business. But he's got family love. He's got morals. So he's not valid. The storyline doesn't make sense from all the perspectives that it would have to make sense for you to stay invested in.
Right.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
And then you have Ava is like, I don't know what they done with Ava. I'm confused on all levels. But it's like Nina has Ava and her freaking mother. You mean to tell me she doesn't understand danger? You mean you can't have people like General Hospital, please hear me out on this. I love Laura Wright. By the way, happy birthday, baby. And I love Cynthia Watros, 2 Emmy Award winners who graduated from the school of Kim Zimmer. You guys are using the chemistry for this storyline because the material for this is not doing any favors. Carly versus Nina, round 52, is not working anymore, especially now that we're going into this part of the storyline where we all know what you guys are trying to do. It's not working for me. I don't understand none of this. What else are we talking about?
All right, let's unpack that for a moment. Because I know where you're going, General Hospital. Thank you so much. It was a fun ride.
Wait,
Oh, good. You know.
Part. Oh, I didn't say about Portia.
No, okay, we'll go back to Portia in a second because Candace. Okay. Here's the deal. This was all set up by Sonny and all this government reason. None of this would have happened in real life. This is so completely off of where the storyline was supposed to go in the first place. They are just throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying to see what will stick. They do not know where they are going with this.
But you know what the sad part is?
At this point.
But you know what the sad part is? This is okay. Okay. You had Dan and Chris, all right, and then you had the outline for Dan and Chris, and then you have the scab writers, okay. But you know what the sad part is? And I'm going to be honest. You're right. It's the same as early this year. They don't know what to do. They really don't. Yep. Because I said this in real time. Go listen to our previous episodes of blogtalkradio.com. Around June, actually May and June, I said around this time.
I'm going to put the words in your mouth. Oh, this is going to be the best send-off of a villain in soap opera history. What? Huh? The best send-off of a villain in soap opera history. Mm-hmm.
No, not that. What did I say? What did I say about the fall? Because remember, we were supposed to have a fall wedding. Remember that. We were supposed to have a fall wedding.
Yes, we were, and then it went to Valentine's Day.
And I said in real time, I said they're going to build something up, and it's going to be a letdown. To me, I'm going to be honest with you. If you saw today's episode of General Hospital, and if you haven't, it should be on Hulu by now, I guess until 8 o'clock. I don't know. They did exactly that because I was sitting here. I was real time. I was like folding my arms, and I'm watching it in real time.
Candace,
and I was like,
I didn't see it. It was the whole Sonny setup, wasn't it?
Baby, let me tell you. Okay, do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, spoil it. It's okay.
Okay, for those who do not want to just mute this part, just come back. So today, on a very special General Hospital, not really, Sonny's thing happened, the court thing, right? They didn't have enough evidence because the flash drive was in shambles, right? Okay. The judge dismissed the case. Dismissed the case. However, if any evidence is presented, they're going to come back. So Sonny is free. Sonny, because the U.S. Marshals, I think they withdrew their statement or something like that too, right? But
because there wasn't enough
evidence. Right. So Sonny, right, kept looking at Dex and told everybody to leave, and I was saying, I need to talk to Dex. And this is where I was like, okay, GH, I'm keeping score on this.
Oh, no, Candace, no. Go ahead.
Oh,
well, yeah, wait a minute. Hold
Anthony.
On. Wait a minute, Anthony, get ready. Hold on to your bluegles, okay? All right. Because Sonny said everybody else was getting arrested. How come you didn't get arrested? He was side-eyed at Michael. He was side-eyed at Dex. So then Dex was like, I got a tip that to get out. And Sonny said, well, who told you? And Dex was like, Carly. Carly called me and told me what was going on, so I left. Dex snitched on Carly. I said to myself, see if. I said, if I was the writer for General Hospital, I've been saying this for the longest time, by the way. This could actually be a good storyline if they play the beats right, but here's where I don't trust GH. I don't. Because y'all all know I kept saying, what do we know about Dex? Who is Dex connected to? Why would the flash drive? Because they making sure to tell everybody about that flash drive. And like I said, I don't believe that was the real flash drive that was thrown in the trash.
No.
Me either.
We never saw
they shoved that flash drive so far down our throats, I fought it out, flash drive sent.
Yeah, because the thing was, like, Michael, he was calling Willow and Carly, and Sonny was looking at him like, Michael kind of got a little upset, too, about the whole situation. So I'm just like, I was like, General Hospital, if you can please, whoever is writing right now, if you're listening to the show, like I said, Dex has to be involved in who framed Sonny. I didn't say he was the person. He has to be involved in it because to me, I already have the story mapped out in my head, and that's the scary part. I have it mapped out, but I don't trust GH because I feel as though GH, you have really far. I don't even know what to say about you right now. I feel as though, you need a vacation. You need a time jump. You need a time jump or something.
All right. Let's pull this. Let's pull this back for a second though, because honestly, there is a couple of ways to really pull all of this back to a usable plot line for the rest of the GH future. They need to start tying all of this to Selena. I don't know what the hell they thought that all of a sudden Nicholas was coming home from a job, and I don't know where the turn in that storyline came from. That
and
they
Nicholas is still doing the same thing. He is still doing the same thing. He has not told you should have clued in your son or somebody. Like, to me, I'm glad Adam is back as Nicholas. Nice surprise, GH. Good job. But you still got to work on getting Nicholas to be back in the good graces of like good writing and good character. Because okay.
Yeah, you know what? Make him have like a speech. They should have made him have some sort of speech impediment. A weird tick. He can't walk that fast. And, like he's really overcoming having been clocked on the head with something. Or I didn't want the oh my god, he was going to wake up with no memory and not know he's Nicholas. I really didn't want that storyline either. But honestly,
I'm glad too. No amnesia.
There is no way to redeem this. You went away from your kids, a brand new baby, again. You did this for what? For what? So you didn't, because you would get some way to get out of the jail free card over keeping your mistress captured in the tower? This is so
and
far
Anthony?
off.
Anthony?
Yeah.
My question is, now, how long has he been conscious?
Obviously, He's been conscious for a while. Listen, he woke up last Thursday and he went for a mile run. Sorry, David, those two universes do not live, next to each other. Okay, real quick, also on General Hospital because we do have to move on to other shows, but okay, I have to say this. It was cute. They went into a record studio. I love Leo. He is awesome. The throwback to, GH history. Okay, you decided not to use Nancy Lee Grahn in a story where she would be absolutely perfect in. She fits so perfectly in a storyline on a show that she's contracted. By the way, people, do you remember she actually works for you in a storyline where she could be so very useful? It's time, General Hospital, to figure out what you're doing with this. And if the rumors are true and we are getting some Rena Sofa, then let's push Eddie Main and Olivia a little bit more together. Let's move up the sparks in this bromance thing that's happening between them.
Yeah.
So that by the time Lois shows up, it's a real choice that has to be made. But yeah, no, I'm so sorry. Epic fail. Nancy Lee Grahn would have been perfect in this whole storyline.
I have questions. I have issues with this story myself.
Go ahead, David.
My thing is, if he thinks he's Eddie Main, why doesn't he remember Lois?
Because General Hospital writers won't do it. Oh, sorry.
Okay, I will say this. This is the most baffling case of other personnel. I mean, they implanted memories with chips and weird, computer with wires and cables and things. Poor Cameron. He was about to be memory erased before Franco rushed it. They have run the gamut. This one makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't understand. He's not remembering that he was alter ego. It's not like he forgot that he was Ned and he only remembers the alter ego life of Eddie Main that actually existed back then. That's not what's happening. It's some weird made up version of Eddie Main that I guess would have been if he never actually had any hits.
He was a stage persona. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, he was a stage persona.
It's like,
and he remembers what he used to do, but he doesn't remember his own man.
He was talking about
the Brooklyn part
or whatever. Like, let's remember something, people. Eddie Main had #1 records. If you remember, Eddie Main actually became a rock star and actually had hits and videos, concert tours and things. So he's remembering playing a club in Houston, singing to who is that one? Oh, that one woman's again. Spoiler alert, people. Candace, let's take a guess. Who do you think the woman he was singing to in Houston is going to turn out to be?
It's probably going to be. You know what? Okay, you want me to do this? I'll do it. If it was us writing it, it would be Lewis. However, they're probably going to bring back Catherine Bell.
Girl, she is on contract on another show, honey.
That don't mean nothing. They can recast.
That is true.
The role of Catherine Bell is now being played by Gina Tognoni.
Listen, so going back to the point, and we're all touching on it in different ways, so I'll get to the heart of it. It was not dissociative identity. He wasn't Ned and Eddie. He wasn't two different people living in one body. He was pretending. Everything he did when he was pretending to be Eddie was Ned pretending to be Eddie. So now this just doesn't make any sense.
Wait a minute, because they did do a storyline similar to this years ago with Spinelli, when he thought he was the Jackal instead of himself.
Yes.
And it was very similar. Because the Jackal's always been his nickname. It's never been a different person. So this is a recycled storyline too.
Well, here's the difference between the Jackal versus Eddie. Because Spinelli always believed, okay, you know how, you have an alternate version of yourself that you present when you're like, okay, if I was this person, I would do this, and this. I would have more confidence. That was the Jackal. With Eddie Main, it was sort of like, okay, Vinny, you and me watch wrestling. It's sort of like the Ultimate Warrior. We know the Ultimate Warrior isn't really,
Yes,
and but they have, that's the performer. We know Triple H isn't Triple H. We know him as Paul, right?
That was a bad analogy, but.
Well,
I understand.
I mean, do you want me?
I know
do you
what
want
you
me to do the ultimate? You want me to do the recent one?
I would have said the difference between Roman Reigns and Joe, whatever his last name is.
I was going to say somebody else, but I've been told I can't say his name for the next couple of days because I talked about it too much this weekend. But no, I mean that's the thing. It's like Eddie Main was a stage persona. Because Ned wanted to venture out. He wanted to do something else that was his passion. But him being Ned, Ned Quartermain was straight up Todd, who had an affair with Monica. But, he was business type because that's what the family wanted versus what he really wanted. So the fact is he wasn't.
Real quick, but the
alternate
hypocrisy, Ned Quartermain could put on the tightest little Nike little tennis shorts. I mean, girl, they were tight, those little shorts, and have an affair with Monica. But Ned couldn't put on skin tight leather chaps and be Eddie Main. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. So this storyline, when he woke, because I always say they messed up. They could have done something where he did lose his memory, or to the point. But for him to say he was in the current year, he knew where he was at. He couldn't remember Brooklyn. Because once he said he couldn't remember Brooklyn, I was like, oh, he's back in the 90s. I said, oh, okay, we're somewhere. But they didn't do it. And the fact that Alexis is not a part of the storyline, which makes no sense at all. It's just, I'm so confused on this. And I'm just like, so GH, you got 2 amnesia storylines going on. Mm-hmm. 2.
Yep.
I'm surprised we don't got a third one, but I don't want to speak too soon. Because knowing y'all probably put Sasha with amnesia. Why
not? She's been through everything else, basically.
Right, that's why I said she's probably going to have a mental block. If that happens, Lord,
All right, one more quick one before we leave Port Charles. Does anyone care? I really love Kate Manzi, so I'm trying my damnedest. I really am.
Oh, please tickle
me. It's entertaining when it's on the screen and I'm actually, experiencing it. But I'm not invested at all. And Lord help me, I'm sorry, God. I hate to say this. I'm so sorry. I don't know who Molly. I don't know what pod thing came and snatched our Molly and dropped this thing up in her place. I don't know who this person is. No. Okay, go ahead. David, go first.
She's just a nice girl who needed some work, probably, and we can end it there.
That was good, David. That was really good.
Yeah.
Vinny?
Yeah, I'm not buying the new Molly. I like it. I love Kate Manzi as Christina. I think she's playing it perfectly when she does play it, when she's on the screen. I agree. I think with her storyline, there's too much off screen that's happening that's making me not buy into it. Like when she came back and asked, when she came back and said that Terry agreed to be on the board for the new program that she's starting, why didn't we see that episode, that conversation, especially the fact that Terry really does belong to the LGBTQ community? So why wasn't that actually there?
Let's stop there for 1 second. 2 months ago, her father gave her, his version of a check. I don't know,
right.
Kronos money, crypto, whatever. 2 months ago that happened. A month later, she was building a business plan. Sam was, scolding her for being impetuous. Okay, now a month later, she has a whole board, and I guess they built the whole building. I'm not sure. It seems like they're about to start picking up furniture. Yes. Way too much has happened off screen. And yes, thank you for pointing that out, because I am a proud member of the LGBTQ community. And General Hospital, I wanted someone else to bring this up and go, look, a straight wrestling guy. You go, man. I am so proud of you, Vinny, right now. A straight wrestling man pointed out to you that you had the perfect opportunity to enhance. You have had a transgender character on the canvas who is basically a girl now, and that's right. That is not the lived experience of 92 to 95% of transgender people in the world right now. There are some who make it all the way. They get married. They have little adopted children. I'm not sure how it works, but, and no one ever knows. Or they know, but whatever. But this is not the experience of most of the transgendered out there. You had an opportunity to fix the situation where the LGBT community is giving you what we call, girl, we like this term. Are you ready? Candace knows this term. Girl, we giving you side eye. Now, you write soap operas, so you know what side eye is, but in the gay world, that's 5 times more amplified. We giving you side eye. You had the opportunity to fix this with this storyline, and bam, in 2 months, the building is built, the board has been selected, and what, we about to start hiring professionals? Thank you for pointing that out, Vinny. That was what I was so hoping would happen this evening. Continue where you left off, my friend.
I mean, that was basically it. It's just there's too much of it happening off screen. Now, I know they only have so much time to fill. There are different front burner storylines that are happening. And if you want something that's going to be long term and kind of in the background, that's great. But don't, like you said, don't jump around to the point, okay, well, we saw this 2 months ago. She got the financing, and now all of a sudden, okay, the building's there, and maybe she didn't build one. Maybe it's a pre-existing building. But she still has to go through and, sign the paperwork, put the business plan together, get the board together, which I know she's getting the board together now. But, okay, she's getting Diane. She's getting Terry. Where are these conversations happening? Where, I want to see how she's selling it, because ultimately that could help somebody else who wants to do something similar learn the information.
And they could have rectified some of there is a lot of communication about how General Hospital sanitizes every LGBTQ effort that they put forth. And there is a lot of truth in that, and they could have rectified that situation right here and not done it in a way where people had to be kissing on the same gender on screen. They could have used this to bolster that piece of the storyline. Having said that, I'm going to do justice because there is another component in this piece of it, and it's Molly. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this outright. I'm not upset that you want to tear her world apart and turn her into a sniveling mess so that she has to rebuild her life. I am absolutely not upset with that vision as a storyline. You just cannot do that with a character like Molly in 15 minutes. I'm sorry, no matter how you paint the complexity of the things that Molly is facing, the way you presented it to the audience, it has happened in 15 minutes, and it's not transmittable emotively to our heartstrings. So even though intellectually all the things that happened to her make sense, emotionally we cannot connect because you gave us no time to connect with it. So you took one of the most capable characters in the show's history, not even on canvas at the moment, one of the most capable characters in the show's history, and turned her into a sniveling mess in 15 minutes. And you expect us to buy into this with the passion that we did, Maxie and BJ exchanging hearts, and the gut-wrenching moments where Felicia looked at Bobby and Bobby looked at Felicia, and she slid down the wall, and the no. You cannot expect us to feel the same things when you've done this to us in 15 minutes. Candace, go, girl. I know you got stuff.
All right, GH, here's the deal. This whole Molly, TJ, Christina stuff, let me break it down in real quick. It makes no sense.
Girl, answer me this real quick. Yeah. Are we going to get a TJ, Christina hookup? Is that where they're going with this?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
I kind of tapped out of that because I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Okay. So, Kate Mansi, I'm going to break it down. Kate Mansi has found a partner. It is Maurice Bernard. Because, look, here's the thing. She's a recast, and you know how, like, with couples, they do the Come to Us. If it doesn't work, we all know sometimes what happens, right? Okay. But the Come to Us was with Nancy and Maurice. She found her person with Maurice. I actually enjoyed Christina and her version of Christina and Sonny, okay?
Yeah.
Put that on pause.
That part I like.
Yeah. Put that on pause for a second. Okay. Molly and TJ. General Hospital, here's your problem. Here's the problem. Before I could do the recast stuff, I'm just going to say this. I don't care. I don't care because you don't show them enough for me to be interested in. All of a sudden, 1 minute, they had the ceremony, the civil ceremony. Next thing you know, Molly and Brando are having a one-night stand, which she could have gotten knocked up from, but you didn't even go there. TJ is a doctor. He has problems, okay? And everything like that. And you ship them off for 6 to 7 months. And then you come back, all of a sudden, Molly wants a baby. When? Where?
I'm sorry, I have to say that too. No, I have to echo that. She is in the job for 2.5 years at most, and that is being very, very generous.
Right,
there is no woman who has worked that hard to get into that job after 2.5 years. I'm ready for a baby. I could do it all.
Because
not happening.
You did not even come at me. Like, at least give me some build-up. Then you got the tease. Now you got the tease. I'm going to tell you what the tease was. You want to know what the tease was? The tease was TJ and Willow. TJ and Willow, that was your tease. Because they could have pulled that. They could have had where TJ is the concerned doctor and Willow is confiding in him and Molly feels insecure and they have a secret relationship or something like that. I don't know. But you didn't play the beat. Now, all of a sudden, like the surrogacy. Now, let me put it all in. If it was with Lexi and Haley, we would have been invested because we've seen those two girls grow up in front of our eyes. But you still needed to invest more, a little bit with Molly and TJ for us to believe this, okay? The problem is that you literally did a recast on a recast on a recast on a recast with the storyline. And the thing is, we, the audience, aren't connecting because it's too much too soon. What you should have done is pause
Drop the
it,
storyline.
freeze it. Freeze it for a little bit. Let us gel to Kate Manson as Christina. Let us gel to, I'm sorry, what's the young lady's name that's playing Molly right now? I'm sorry.
Brooke Ann Smith.
Brooke Ann Smith.
Brooklyn. Hi, sweetie. Hi. I didn't mean that, by the way. But let us have some time to gel, to know these two actresses playing these roles. Let's get a feel.
Admit this, though, Candace. They also needed to give us more than, like, when you don't play characters for months and months and months, then it's, okay, 2 weeks you're in the appointment for this, 2 weeks, the next 2 weeks you're in the appointment for that. Boom, 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 boom. There was no time to invest in actually
but you know what else is
any
missing?
of it. They kept telling us what they were feeling, but we didn't feel it with them. Oh, she's so distressed. Yeah, we get it intellectually. We get it. She's having a hard time with it. But we didn't see nothing. We saw the appointment, and then the next thing they interviewing surrogates.
But you know what else is missing?
She got over it.
You know what else is
missing? She didn't get
missing?
over it when it comes to Christina.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to be honest with you. You know what else is not working for me? All of a sudden, Christina versus Molly.
Yeah.
It's coming out of it.
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Like, to me, you should have been playing this beat for years, okay, to get us to this point. And another thing
this is the cover for Christina is going to very rapidly become a character that is Kate Manzi Abigailish and not Christina Corinthos that we know.
Because, Anthony, baby, honey, sweetheart, love of my life on the show. You know what I'm about to say.
I do, but you know what I'm about to say is true, too.
And even
I love Lexi, but Lexi could not play the woman that they want Christina to become.
It's not even that. It's not that.
No.
It's not that. Here's the problem.
You don't think it's that?
But no, I'm going to tell you what the problem is. I'm going to take Lexi and Kate out for a minute. The problem is that the show has never understood the assignment of Christina Corinthos Davis.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. She is part of the Drew Kane syndrome.
She's a part. Here's the thing. She is connected to the Cassadon family bloodline. She is Sonny Corinthos' daughter. That right there is a storyline in its own right. You have tried to give her some kind of identity, and it doesn't work. She went from this child to being the reality show queen. She tried to do this. She was, she's a survivor of abuse. She was trying to find her place. She was a part of a cult. All this stuff. You do not, and then she runs Charlie's while she should have been with her. You've never been able to find her identity. Versus Molly. Molly has always been a conservative version of Samantha. You see how I did that? I didn't say Christina. I said Samantha. Yes, I did say Samantha. Okay.
Yes, and you're right on that, but here's the thing. They hired Kate Manzi. That was not, okay, who could we get that's going to give us some Days of Our Lives people? That was, we are taking this character to a level that we need an actress who is going to come in and dynamically shift everything that the viewers know about this character in a way that's believable enough that they go for the ride. And on that point, I will give Kate Manzi so far so good. Mm-hmm. So far, of the two, we are much more let me take a poll, actually.
Yeah.
David,
Christina more than Molly.
We are much more invested in Christina. We believe Christina's Christina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Much more than Molly. What they should have done with the Molly situation is give us an understanding and a time as a couple that they grappled with what was happening to them. They dealt with all of that off screen and told us what everybody was feeling as though we were going to go along for the ride, except you're tearing apart one of the most stable characters you have ever portrayed in the history of General Hospital. Molly has been Molly the entire run of the character. She's been that way. And you want us to go along for that ride in less than 6 months. It doesn't make the transition with a new actress make any sense. The minute they knew that they had to recast the actress, they should have said, "Oh, okay, whoa, let's pull this back. Let's change the direction of this a little bit." I agree with you 100%, Candace. They missed the boat. They should have played TJ and Willow to the hills. But, lots of boats have sailed out of General Hospital Harbor.
I mean, here's the thing, real quick. Molly and Brando, I'm still trying to figure the point of that was what? To give us some shock? Like, oh, my gosh, Molly's not innocent as she seems. Oh, my God. You could have played the beat right then and there of an unexpected pregnancy. If you wanted to do it, like, again.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something basic, Candace, and be honest. Think in your heart. David and Vinny, you're answering this too. In that whole situation, did you see Molly as a woman? Did you see her as a woman that consented to sex, that had that experience? Was it believable for you? Did you fall into that storyline and believe it? Candace?
I believe that she wanted to explore her other side, the one that she kept, like, she was a hypocrite side, her hypocritical side. Because think about it, leading up to that. Oh, go ahead.
You're talking about the Brando storyline.
Molly sleeping with Brando. Yep.
Yeah, I did. I thought that was a turn in the character of Molly because she was not the kind of person. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they turned the corner.
Okay. All right, we're
Haley,
all in agreement. And Haley pulled it off. Haley gave us all of the beats for the Molly that we knew and loved up to that point. She gave us all of those awkward beats while still letting us know that was her cry out for, I'm trying out my womanhood here. I conquered my intellectual. I conquered my partner, that I'm a good friend, I'm a good partner. I've never felt like a woman, and I love my partner, but I want to feel like a woman. And she played it, and they could have played off of that with Haley Polos. What happened in real life, when it happened, that sucks. But they left that hanging for so long that by the time we came back to this, we're not invested. It's not part of our lexicon at this moment.
That's why I said.
All right, we really do have to go on. Let's
Go ahead.
Let's jump to Salem.
Woo!
Yep. Let me see. Okay, Salem.
Okay. I'm gonna say this just to get this out at the top of the conversation. I'm not happy in a lot of ways, Salem-wise, right now. But every single person who spoke, every single person who emoted, the Victor Kiriakis memory, I'm very okay with. I think every single person who contributed to that did an incredible job. The rest of it, not so happy with. Go ahead, David.
What rest? Which part?
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Girl, there are so many. All right. I'm just going to say Victor Kiriakis-centric for a second. The guest list, the itinerary was interesting, to say the least. If you're going to go in that direction, give us secondary material as to where other people are. Give us the person hanging up the phone with such and such, et cetera, because some people that should have most definitely been asked to come back were not. The ones that did an incredible job. There is nothing that I can say about what was filmed, what we saw that was bad. Just the story building around it could have been done with more care for the legacy of that character. Who wants to go next?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Candace. I hear.
Okay, so.
Oh, go ahead, David. No,
go ahead, David.
Candace,
you
Candace,
go ahead, David.
Oh, you want me? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, and I'll go next.
Let me see. I liked everyone there. You're saying that maybe a couple people should have been there to make it more believable of a scene. I do that. Maybe John should have been there.
In some capacity, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, David?
I don't give. Vivian's thing was a little bit shocking.
And see, I'll respond to that. I could live with that because that will drive storyline in other areas. Okay, or could drive. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going where it should go, but I could live with that. But that's again, you're talking about. This is Victor Kiriakis, Asa Buchanan, Denver Carrington. You're talking. Yeah. This is like Steve Jobs in the world we're supposed to imagine exists. This is someone like Steve Jobs. So,
the more of it,
and just all of the history of the character. There are people that are still living that could have been asked to come back. There are pieces of ways of writing the dialogue so that everybody was included character-wise, even if they couldn't be there in person.
They could.
You took
somehow.
a Steve Jobs and made it into, Mayor Capendash of Nantucket Island funeral. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, and more of his cronies. I don't know, maybe they could have brought Deimos in.
Candace, girl, go ahead.
Go ahead,
okay.
Candace.
So
help me out here.
Okay, I'm gonna try to separate behind the scenes versus what I saw on the screen. Okay.
Okay.
To me, I was fine with it, but I do feel as though there were certain people that should have been there. Nicole being one.
Yep.
2, Carly.
Nicole.
Savannah. Yeah, I said it. Savannah. For those who don't know. Yeah. She had a little deal with that. Yeah.
Oh, that takes me back.
Right? See, that's what you got to do. See, okay. Now I got to do the behind the scenes stuff. Okay.
No, but Candace, real quick though, because I do have to say this. In the old soaps of old, even in the late 80s and early 90s, people was still getting telegrams, and then all of a sudden they started getting
faxes. I mean, you could have definitely had people.
They started getting faxes. Now people get emails and text messages and little TikToks. I'm sorry, there was ways that this could have.
They could have done it. They could have done it, but I will say this. Now I got to do the behind the scenes. They did ask Patsy Pease. Patsy couldn't do it. The reason was because of traveling expenses. Victoria Calderfeld, who plays Sierra, she had a scheduling situation. That's why we got Rachel. That's why we got Chelsea. Because shout out to Jamie Giddens, because Jamie spilled the tea of saying what was going on, because a lot of people, and I said this in real time, after John Aniston passed away, allow 6 to 8 weeks of grieving and then start making some calls. The reality is that everybody's not standing around waiting for a phone call. They have things to do. And that's how Rachel, as we read Rachel's interview, she talked to Martha Madison and everything. And like Jamie said, the dialogue that Chelsea had said was supposed to be for Sierra. But again, now, hindsight, I keep saying, to me, I'm hoping.
I'm sorry. No, Candace, I'm sorry. In this world where we endured Zoom performances,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But again, like I said, if they're unable, because I think this is the thing, if they were able to work out a deal, now we got to think about this because we don't know everything that happened behind the scenes, right? We just know that there are certain people, like Patsy explained the situation.
No, Candace, girl, I'm there with you, and I agree with you. That's when you implore okay, we have a email from, due to circumstances, I cannot be there with you. My heart is crushed. My love of blah, 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 blah. There is always, like I said, back in the day, it was quote unquote the telegram. Oh my God. Once they said the telegram, everybody, perked up to attention. They could have included the moments that really needed to be included, even if they couldn't have made it happen. And it made
like they did
everybody put their best in giving us what we saw. But because it was disjointed, it didn't tell the narrative of what it could have told.
Well, you know
based on a character like Victor Kiriakis.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there were some moments that I was just like, okay, this person should be there. And I had to start weighing my options, because I did see a lot of people saying that this person should have been there versus this person. I'm just like, all right, if I'm balancing it out here, who would I want? And I'm just going to say this. For those who said they would be fine with, like, if they had a lookalike from behind or a day player to do, like, play the role of such and such for just a day, I'm going to be honest with you. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't have been satisfied. I'm sorry, you wouldn't, because it's a disruption to the story itself. With that being said, I thought the Victor Kiriakis funeral was really good. Wally Kurth made me cry. When they brought up Isabella, all right, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, boy.
Here's who I really wanted to be there as a ghost spirit or something, was Stacy. I wanted to see Isabella just behind Brady and just put her arms around Brady while Brady was crying or something like that.
Just standing in this ethereal glow.
Even if you now this is where I would say y'all could have used stock footage of Isabella, or something. Like, damn it, man. But I was content. But I'm looking at the big picture here, and I'm like, why did y'all have certain people come back? Like, I'm starting to piece together. Is there a mystery here? Is there a mystery regarding Victor Kiriakis' death? I'm like, okay.
Yep.
And I'm because I'm like, wait a minute. Again, this is where you have to pay very close attention to certain clues that were given. Because I'm like,
thank you so much.
I was like, okay, so we do know that he was going to see Bo and Hope, and he took the box out because he didn't know if Megan DeMera was going to trace him or anything. Same thing coming back. So I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, DeMera, Megan, she is still out there. I was like, interesting. I was like, okay. I was like, Philip. I was like, can I talk about Philip real quick, please? Please?
Yeah.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
Okay, Dave, I need to talk to y'all straight up. Y'all be playing the mental illness game too much. Jealousy is not a mental illness. Stupidity
no, it's not.
No.
Stupidity is not a freaking mental illness. What Philip did was childish, and then you could have to go, like Brady's giving him a hug, right? I'm sorry. I know y'all just lost Victor. I know. But if I see somebody who is quote-unquote dead and faked it and made me look bad, I'm not giving you a hug. I'm giving you a black eye. I'm going to punch you. Seriously, you open the door.
Let's stop for a moment and reality check. Okay, first off, one of my ultimate all-time my whole, soap opera life. No, not my whole soap opera life, but one of my long-term soap crushes is Mr. JP Lavoisier. Okay, that man can do no wrong for me.
And he hasn't changed since One Life to Live.
Wait a minute.
He has not changed since One Life to Live.
Wait, why am I just finding this out, Anthony?
You don't know this kid? I have said this before.
I didn't know that.
He said that on group chat.
JP, I have met him 4 times. He knows how I feel about him. He has been very cool about it in real life. I don't stand out. I work for the Associated Press. I do not stand out in those encounters, except with Mr. J.P. Lavoisier. Girl, I turned into a blithering Judy Blume idiot. I was like, oh, my God, hi. You're so pretty.
Wait a minute. Can we get him on the show?
I know I did.
Wait a minute. I need if we can get John Paul on the show, I need for that to happen because I'm going to do like Pam and you guys did to me.
All right.
With Jordy?
No, but back to the actual. We're not there. Candace, we're not there, right? We're not there. You want us to be there, but we're not there. But I hear you. This is a Helena Cassadine, Stefano. This is a Victor Kiriakis. He definitely.
Especially with Teresa. Yo, I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
Teresa. Okay. First and foremost, generally, it's always a pleasure to see you, baby. I am going to miss you, though. I
love her.
But okay.
Oh, I love her. Yeah.
So I made my opening of the show tonight about you, girl, because I feel you genuinely. Go ahead.
My whole thing is that I'm side-eyeing Teresa, especially, first and foremost, all right, Days of Our Lives. This was a perfect opportunity to introduce us to Tate.
Yep.
Have a grown, not like an all-way grown, but like a 17-year-old or 18-year-old guy, and they was like, "Who's this?"
Oh, I'm Tate. 15.
Well,
like
they got they're going to try to age it so they can for Chanel, for the Chanel group, that base.
Oh, girl.
Right.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, because you got to do, and before anybody comes at me, I like Johnny and Chanel, but I'm just saying they need to, for that core, right? Okay, so. I'm looking for work to Tate, right? Oh, he couldn't come because he's going to school, and I didn't want to take him out. Really? Then I started thinking, Teresa, you were too, forward with Brady. Can we pick up where we left off at? And I'm thinking to myself, I like the Teresa and Brady. Eric Montoff and Jen Lilly has not skipped a beat. Seriously, the chemistry is there. But the writing, the way that she's acting, I'm like, side-eye. I'm like, and then her and Alex, I'm like, side-eye. I'm like, what's up with her? Let me put her on my suspect list, right? I'm like, okay, even though the funeral wasn't the highlight, I'm still looking for the highlight because I really think there is something that's going on here. I will say this, Suzanne Rogers.
God bless her. 50 years.
Great job.
Not even. It's just the way that her episode, she lost another love of her life, and now she got to deal with Vivian. This is soap opera 101, where this is like Dynasty. It's like, okay, you have the perfect marriage between Victor and Maggie. Never thought I would see that, but And then here comes Vivian. Only the way Louise Sorrell can walk in here. And Maggie, you didn't have to say her whole name. We know who she is. And then she's like, I'm Mrs. Victor Kiriakis. I'm like, oh, we got a soap opera. Oh, but I'm side-eyed. I'm like, it's good. I will say this on screen because, like I said, I try to separate behind the scenes versus this, right? If they go where I think they're going to go at, I'm invested. I'll be invested. Unlike another show, I feel as though that's happening because I'm like, especially today's episode when Vivian says, as of right now, I inherited all of Victor's money. I'm like, oh, shoot. Run. I'm invested. Yep. But
I want you all out of my house.
Yeah, it's like I see what everybody's saying.
But everybody can, almost everybody, especially little young gay boys, can identify with what I'm about to say. There is a scene in the movie Mommy Dearest where Faye Dunaway recreates Joan Crawford going into the board of PepsiCo, which has been, recreated in both Dynasty and a movie starring Bette Midler and Shelley Long. I forget, what that name of that movie was, but very where she basically goes in and she says, I'm a woman, I'm in charge, I'm going to fire all you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They gave us a classic soap storyline to fall right into. That part of it I am so happy with. And it's Vivian. Of course it's Vivian. Of course it's Vivian. That part I'm so happy with. And like I said, everyone who was there was so on point. I'm not unhappy with the actual, everyone and what they gave. I'm just unhappy that they did not give the character the legacy that it deserved, and there were so many glaring moments that felt awkward because there was no subtext between things that happened in the history that we all supposed to know, but aren't being played on screen. That was my thing. All right. Anybody have anything else with Dave before we move along?
How come Belle and Sean can't leave storyline?
Oh, Dick.
Oh, God. Oh, Dick Van Dyke. Oh, my God.
Okay. You know what? I forgot all about him for a minute, but I have to say, okay, we have a couple of national treasures up in this country, and Mr. Dick Van Dyke is one of them. You remember what it was like when Betty White popped up on The Bold and the Beautiful the first time, right?
Yeah.
You remember? Okay, Mr. Dick Van Dyke did not get the fanfare that he deserves, but oh my God, am I loving him? Oh my God, am I loving him?
Believable.
Hold up, wait. Okay, there are some things you never think you're gonna see in your lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dick Van Dyke on Days of Our Lives.
Right. It's like, wait a minute. Okay. First and foremost, I would like to say.
He was married to Mary Tyler Moore. He cleans out chimneys. He drove a car up in the sky. This is Mr. Dick Van Dyke. He on Days of Our Lives, and he's good. He fits in so good.
I want to thank, wait a minute, let me get my Emmy speech ready. I would like to thank Drake Hogerson for pitching that idea. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, people do listen to actors. I would like to thank Peacock. I would like to thank King Corday. I'm not thanking unemployment guy, but I would like to thank Ron Carvati and writers for this. Here's my thing. He's a pioneer of television.
Yeah.
I'm going to get emotional. He's been around so long that every generation can, like you said, Anthony, can pinpoint where they've seen him at. Whether it's the Dick Van Dyke Show, whether it is the new Dick Van Dyke Show, Diagnosis Murder, Mary Poppins, Murder, anything. The new Mary Poppins movie that recently came out, something. So when it was announced he was coming on Days of Our Lives, I'm like, as who? I was like, but then I said he was going to be Tommy Horton. Then I said, no, he's going to be Laura Horton's father, Jennifer's grandfather. I didn't know where it was going at. I really didn't. There was two things I kept saying, though, I wanted to see. Him and Bill Hayes in a scene together. I would like to thank.
Yep.
Can I get emotional? I was so happy. First and foremost, Peacock, you know you did mess up like last week by showing the following week's episode. But I was glad because I got to see that scene, right? For those who keep saying, oh, it's a retcon. Okay, I'm going to just break it down to you. The last retcon of John's identity, when they had the assassin's father be the,
John Robichaux.
It never worked for me. It didn't work for me
either.
Okay.
That was stupid. I didn't like it.
And yes,
I forgot about it, to be honest.
I know we all did, but that's why we're glad for this.
I know, but then it reminds us, and we like,
I know, but here's the thing: if you've been a fan of John Black, you know he's been an LMA, he's been a Brady, he's been up there. We've never really triggered his real identity. So this,
he had more branches on his family tree than the tree of life.
Look, they undid.
Right.
Wait a minute, they undid a branch just so Brady and Teresa could be together. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Because technically Brady and Teresa wasn't supposed to because they were cousins, and then they undid something in a family tree for them not to be together, for them to be together.
Be related.
Right.
Because,
yep.
Yeah, because he's
a step.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, no, it was blood something. I forgot what it was. Anyway, back to this. This was the perfect supporting storyline. You notice I said supporting because this wasn't the lead storyline. Could there have been more of a build-up? Yes. But for me personally, I was already invested. You know why? Because it's Dick Van Dyke. Okay? This, my friends, is a perfect example of a guest performance for the Daytime Emmys next year. Okay?
Yes,
this gave me feelings. When again, the mystery, who is this man? What is his connection? You had him with Deidre. You had him with, look, you brought back Christopher. You're bringing back Christopher Sean for this, okay? And Colton, I loved it. I loved the emotions when John was like, you know, saying that there was a wife and they had a little boy, and he was looking at him, and he was like, I'm that little boy. And I'm just like, oh, my God. Like, I'm like, okay, like this was a quick storyline. Yes, again, the build-up wasn't there, but the execution was. It's Dick Van Dyke, okay?
It's Dick Van Dyke.
Days for Our Lives. And he said he would do another soap if he could. And can you guess what soap he said he wanted to do?
Young and the Restless.
No, General Hospital.
All right. That's my man. Okay, so I'm going to say two things on this. I loved every single moment of it. I would not have written it any differently. You know, working with the people who wrote those storylines, I wouldn't have won anyway. I wouldn't have written it any differently. And it was Dick Van Dyke. So this storyline could be played out this way. The only caveat, or downside that I have to all this is y'all could have capitalized on this a whole lot more. Y'all could have made this a little bit of an event. And brought people to Peacock to come see Dick Van Dyke go on a soap opera.
Dick Van Dyke, folks. Mm-hmm. But I will say this, though. I don't know if you know, Anthony. So when they did have Dick Van Dyke on, like last week and everything, on social media, Dick Van Dyke was trending.
Oh, no, honey, I saw it on social media. But there should have been, spots going on during all of the primetime, all the primetime programming. There should have been spots breaking across my streaming, especially on Peacock stuff, saying Dick Van Dyke makes his soap opera debut as a character you will never, because you could claim that. On this, what he just did, you could claim on a character you'll never forget.
Right. But
see another side of TV legend Dick Van Dyke on Days of Our Lives. They could have played this to the hill.
They could have done, because they did their promo when they said icon. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all, I agree with you. They should have put it on regular NBC. Hey, NBC, how y'all doing? Y'all suffering yet? Okay. You could have put it. Now, I know it was all over on TikTok. I can claim that. But it was just like, you and I think that's the thing, because somebody asked, like, what can soaps do to kind of promote themselves better? And I'm just like, yo, like, I'm trying to think now. I think it's on Paramount,
promote themselves
too, the
in
Dick
general?
Van Dyke Show.
Yeah.
Say it again?
I said promote themselves in general?
Yeah. I mean,
they have
I
to
will
start
say
promoting
this.
themselves in
Peacock
general.
does it. Peacock does it. It's just, again, I always said this
Peacock
about NBC.
does do it. No, what the soaps need to do is come together as a unit, all four of them, and say,
watch your time, guys,
this is what we're working with in the environment that we're in, okay? And these are the four targeted talk shows that are, most relevant in the social media world right now. We need to have our people on these talk shows, someone from some show once a month, et cetera, and go down the line and work together as a team and turn around and go to Procter & Gamble, go to all of the other production companies and say, you know what, there is a model that works. And the model is this, not for 2 days or 3 days to drop in to tell some weird story on a show that people are like, why are you bringing this person? And the rest of us that are invested in that person, there have been instances where they bring on a storyline arc of a couple of months and they tell a continuing story of a soap person who no longer exists in their soap universe. And they should incorporate that across the platform and have much more cooperation and build on their digital lives outside of the actual hour of television that they're on Monday through Friday, barring holidays and special events, weather, and terroristic activities, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, David,
Right.
Vinny got to pick the first soap, and then we went to Days of Our Lives. There are 2 soaps left. Where do you want to go, my friend, and tell us about what you're feeling right now with that soap?
Let's go for Bold, and I am rightfully enjoying Eric and RJ's little story, and how one, it affects me because it touches on ageism and usefulness as a person gets older, and this interests me mainly because I feel I'm getting up there myself. So I'm putting myself
sidebar note on that storyline. That originally was a one-off moment in a scene, and it clicked so well with John himself that they decided to take this further and explore this as a storyline. So kudos to John for recognizing that there was a moment that people were going to connect with, and bring it to them right away so that they could capitalize on it before it went to air. And 4 months go by, and then we're back to a storyline that's like, wait, what happened? Well, oh yeah, that happened 4 months ago. That's right. And kudos to B&B for also, taking a second look at it and saying, oh yeah, we got something here. Go ahead, David.
They're using a veteran, and they're using a newcomer to tell this story.
Yeah, but
more or less.
There's a natural, handing of the mantle, passing of the torch, and yet I'm still vibrant. I'm not ready to, all of that is being told, but awesome for recognizing that there was this chemistry between the two of them, and being able to craft this storyline in a quick manner to respond to something that happened in a scene that was like, oh, wait a minute, we could do something with this. I am thoroughly impressed with him going with this.
I am.
Vinny, I know have you started watching either of the CBS shows yet?
I haven't, simply because I'm not home during the day to watch them, and I don't even know where to find them. I think, are they on Paramount Plus?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not entirely sure. So all
right. Candace and I are going to do some homework between now and the next show. We're going to pull some very key moments. And Candace, should we do Young and the No, let's do Bold and the Beautiful. It's a little easier. We're going to pull some key moments in the Bold and the Beautiful history over the next 2 weeks. I'm going to focus, if it's okay with you, Candace, I'm going to focus on Brooke, Stephanie, Sally, both Sally, Forresters, but mostly the original Sally Forrester,
right.
And that whole trajectory. Why don't you focus on the triangles?
Oh, no, I got one even better, just so you can kind of to know what's kind of about to come up. I'm going to give you all the Eric versus Ridge stuff.
Oh, even better. Yes.
Okay.
So you're going to see where each side is coming from, because it kind of is happening right now with what the storyline is, what's going on with Eric and how he's feeling, and how Ridge is going to, quote-unquote, feel too.
I'm going to teach you in these prior relationships how Hope and Steffi became the women that they are now by showing you the history of their parents and grandparents and the just dysfunction that it all was. So I'll teach you that side of it. She's going to teach you her side, and we will talk in 2 weeks.
All right. Sounds cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Candace, talk to us about Bold. Where are you at right now?
With Bold and the Beautiful, I'm still waiting for this Eric versus Ridge storyline with TJ kind of in the middle. I'm actually, you know what? Let me just say this. John McCook is a treasure that, you know, some of us grew up watching, obviously, Bold and the Beautiful. Some of you guys remember him from Young and the Restless, right? Okay.
Yes, I do.
And some
a brief little moment
him,
on Capitol.
Right, and a little bit, and on the episode of Hotel and the Love Boat.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Okay. I will say, I'm going to pull this because I saw a lot of people say, oh, when it's not done with the triangles, they always go to Eric for those heart-pulling moments. And it's such an Emmy bait, and it's just, I'm going to tell you something. When he talked about that stapler, I got it. It's like, you know, there's a lot of new stuff going on, and you try to replace it with, you know, the old with the new, right? Because somebody brought up, like, the little iPads and iPhones and, you know, the little nanos. Y'all remember nanos, right? iPad nanos. Y'all remember those little ones? That you remember?
Girl, I'm going to go paint this picture for you real quick. Back when we was in school, we used to have to take a little brush out of a little bottle. We'd have to wipe it really carefully on the paper, blow on it, wait for it to dry, put it back right in the right portion in the row, in our typewriter, move it right back, type again, and then continue on with our little essay.
I got one better. There was this tool, right, that you put a wooden stick in, right, and you had to really rotate it around and around and around, and it always made this noise, right? And when you pull it out, you had to make sure that they actually had lead in it, so you can write.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. If you want to do it, let's do it. Pencil sharpeners. So when he was talking about the stapler, and the thing is that, like he was saying, that everybody comes into that office, and they really don't pay much attention to Eric. And you got Ridge, who's always had that. Again, Vinny, I'm going to show you the episodes because Ridge has always had some kind of feel towards Eric and vice versa when it comes down to the creation side of things. You got RJ.
Okay, wait. I'm going to make a case in point. There was a scene in the late 90s where Ron Moss as Ridge walked into the office in, I kid you not, I swear to God, a Speedo with a towel wrap draped over his shoulders, down his chest, and I don't know how they filmed this, but they filmed it so perfectly that you saw he was in a Speedo, except you never actually saw anything except his chest with the towels going over his nipples. And it was, you don't understand the market, Dad, all this stuff. They have been playing this same storyline and different versions of it the entire, but having said that, I like it. Go ahead, Candace.
But no, like,
you remember the scene I'm talking about, Candace, don't you?
I know what scene you're talking about. Let's put it real quick, Vinny. Let's put it to you this way. Ridge had it out so bad for Eric, he made his own mama think that Eric was having an affair with the assistant, with Margot, played by Lauren Kosler, who's now Kate on Days. Okay, but back to this. I'm enjoying it right now because I feel as though they have to find some way to really usher in RJ instead of being the you need to be with my sister.
Guy.
You need to be with my mom. Like, come on, like utilize him into this storyline. I like the relationship between RJ and Eric. I like that bond
okay, Candace?
because. Oh wait, am I still there?
Yeah, you're here.
Yep.
Okay. I really enjoy it because Eric has, you know, real special relationships with all of his grandchildren in different ways. So I'm actually invested in this because I'm hoping for a family fashion war. I want people to take sides. I want this to be capital. And Anthony knows what scene I'm talking about. The final episode of Capital.
Take it, Candace.
Yeah.
When freaking Marcia Say told those kids, me and your father getting divorced, and you have to pick sides. So choose now. I want that to happen with Eric and Ridge because it's a long time coming. But yeah, I do feel as though Eric. Go ahead.
Just to school you, Vinny. Ridge, Eric is
Vinny's
the father that. Vinny's not on anymore.
Oh, he left?
No, Vinny dropped. Vinny.
Oh, okay.
Vinny dropped off.
All right, then we don't need to talk to him no more. All right. Anything more we want to say about Young and the Restless right now?
You mean
Bold and the Beautiful before we move on to Young and the Restless?
I would say this. I'm waiting for the dark version of Finn to pop up. I feel it. I feel it coming. I feel it. I'm like, because, all right. First of all, congratulations, Jackie, on the baby's birth. Congratulations, honey. My whole thing is this. Sheila will always, like Steffi realized, will always be a presence in their lives. Finn is being kind of, I don't want to say controlled, but it's like he doesn't really, he's too much of a people pleaser. He's too much of a people pleaser. I feel as though something is going to pop off because I'm like, is Sheila going to do something to make Finn snap if he sees like Steffi and Liam? Because Liam, I get it.
Nope.
Well, he just had
Nope.
it.
Girl, here's how it's going to happen. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Finn has spent his whole life moderating how he reacts to things to whoever is most prioritized in his worldview in the situation at the time. Whether it be his, adopted mama, whether it be his daddy, whether it be Steffi, whether it now be Sheila. Hardly ever is it ever the kids, but, that just happens in soap operas. Kids don't count until they can actually, earn paychecks. But I digress, as I'm known to do. We're going to see a moment where the Sheila and Finn finally breaks free. Like, I'm done. I can't do this no more. There's too many people. I got to be a different Finn for each of these people in my life. I can't do this no more. And the wild child inside him is going to come out.
I'm just waiting because I think people forgot how Finn, we don't know what happened with him and that patient that he talked about when he first met Steffi. We know that he has a violent temper because he beat the crap out of Vinny. We don't know.
I keep forgetting about that.
I didn't.
No, I really couldn't forget about that one either because that was
a moment.
A moment that defines, like, okay, there's a ticky boom boom that's still being very carefully maintained. But the moment somebody slips and forgets to oil a joint or something, press the little button that's supposed to be pressed, that ticky is going to go boom, boom.
I wouldn't be surprised if he actually is the one that hurt Sheila.
I would not be either. I was holding that under my hat, but I would not either.
Yeah.
All right. Candace, I saved this all night for you, girl. Let's go to Genoa City. Wrap it up as best as you can in a couple minutes so we can discuss.
Okay, 7 minutes. Okay. Adam, stop acting like this is brand new for you. You already know you're not really a part of the clique. You only buy Newman by blood. You're not by, you even is a Newman by association. Get over yourself. Victoria, stop acting like a kid and take responsibility. Okay, Mariah, Tessa, Devon, and okay. I like this story of Mariah. I like the fact that this is, again, we're seeing the challenge of her being a parent. Now, I know I've said a couple times that not everybody has to have baby fever. I understand that. And I understand that they should be on more than what they, but with this storyline, I find it really interesting because there's so many ways we can go at it. And I like the fact that Devon is a part of it. And I'm glad somebody said it, because somebody said it on social media and they said it on the show. There's a difference between Devon when he lost his hearing because he was a teenager versus a baby. So I do want to see what happens.
Who is going to know this their entire life. Yes.
Right. And I like that Mariah even said that. She was like, she's missing out on certain sounds, but she might hate me when she grows up. I like that. I like the fact that right now, while Tessa is away, because Mariah is overwhelmed, she moved in with Devon and Abby. Okay, next thing. Diane, you're still a little snake because I'm catching on you real quick, and so has Billy. I knew Billy wanted to run the boat by himself. That's why he was the middleman. Jack, you're too comfortable with Diane. Kyle, your arrogancy is not good. But Michael, you're playing the mess out of Kyle, though. I will say this. Audra's still my girl, even though she got
I love her.
I love her. I love you, Sue Lake of Silver. But you're already seeing the cracks because Nate is the first one to have a downfall. I called it. I said Victoria was going to have a downfall. Called it. So now it's like, where do we go? Phyllis, you need to stay out of your kids' lives. Don't try to be hooking up Daniel and Heather. Let Daniel figure out what he wants to do. Let's see what I said. Young and Restless, you're not Succession. It's too much been the storyline. If I hear Newman Media one more time, I might go crazy. And let's see. Hey, Sally. We tried to tell you.
Chance and Sally.
No Chance and Sally. Chance and Summer. Take a chance on them, Summer. But Sharon and Nick, there's a reason why we're almost at 30 years of Sharon and Nick on this show, whether they've been together or not. The chemistry is still there, and Sally has to see it now. I'm sorry, but it's just, especially today's episode with the flashbacks. Oh, my.
Oh, yes. Definitely.
I teared up, and that's all I'm going to say. Young and the Restless, stop with this whole Adam thing because it's getting really sick. Mark Grossman does a great job, but if you're going to just keep recycling, Anthony, you said something earlier about recycling. You're still seriously, Young and the Restless, you're recycling the same old with Adam. Adam is like, oh, woe's me. They don't love me.
Girl, let me go.
Yeah, I'm tired of that.
Let me go. Okay. We have played this same exact storyline out with each Adam that we have had on campus, and we have enjoyed each and every one of the times that we played the storyline out. Mark has played this angst as long as it needs to be played. Move on. Okay. Okay. Courtney Hope, Sally, I hate to say this, Young and the Restless, this is a character that is worth investing in. Find her a storyline that actually works and is workable. And I felt, but I see where you're going. It ain't going to work. So, okay. Find something with this character because she is worth developing.
Hashtag just bring her back to bold. Just bring her back to bold. Bring her back to bold. Yeah, okay. I'm down with that. Okay. Phyllis, girl. Okay. Honey, your daughter is a lot smarter than you. Your daughter has also grown up watching you, et cetera, et cetera. Girl, leave it. Leave and get a life of your own. Okay. Kyle. Woo, child. There's some chemistries going on up in your orbit, and you are playing that. Okay. Here is my thing. When all is said and done, watch. I think Billy is going to come out of this in a place that none of us expect at this moment. Candace, tell me you get an inkling of what I'm feeling right now. I feel you.
Yeah, okay. Young and the Restless, of all four shows right now, I'm still so close to you. I'm not... Thank you for the Michael Damian. Thank you for Haley. I'm interested to see what character she's going to play. Yes, girl, yeah.
Please let it be Grace's daughter. Please let it be Grace's daughter. Please.
And Young and the Restless, we give you permission. Candace, you give me permission too, right? You can pop the cork. Let Diane's crazy come back out. Let Leo shook up the bottle. You can pop that cork and let it...
I've been waiting. Patiently.
You can pop that cork and let it pop all over the kitchen. We have been shaking the bottle with you. Let the crazy out. We ready.
Wait,
we ready.
Anthony, you forgot something.
Yes.
You totally forgot something. Aunt Maymay's coming back.
Oh, Mamie.
Okay, wait, real quick before we leave, and make sure you guys catch encore presentations on Blog Talk Radio. Thanks to everybody. But here's the thing, Young and the Restless, you got one job to do. November sweep, end of the year. I would love to hear the words, Drusilla, is that you? I'm done.
Girl, yes. We'll see you in 2 weeks. David, Pam.
See you in 2 weeks, everybody.
Vinny, thank you for tonight, Carolyn. Hope we see you in 2 weeks. Good night.
Shout out to Vinny. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Get connected with Take-Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take-Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit Take2Radio.com.
Are you on the phone? What are you up to? Yeah.